So our iniquity, or the iniquity of Israel, is a testament to the fact that indeed we are the children of the Heavenly Father, man. You know, even Jake, when they're about to, say go rob a bank, a lot of Jakes will throw up a prayer and say, Lord, get me through this. Or bottom line is that even in their wickedness, Jake is always thinking of a higher being, a higher power, because we are a noble vine, man. We're a right seed. The seed of Israel, of Jacob, is a right seed, man. Now Esau, he's a wicked seed. He's the man of perdition. Okay, he's the man of perdition. That's why you can clearly see the difference between an Edomite and an Israelite. The Edomite, most of them are atheists. They don't believe in anything. They don't believe in shit, man. They believe in Big Bang theories and, science, so-called, They believe in their own strength and might. The scriptures say that a fool setting his heart there's no God, and really that precept is referring to Esau, Edom, man, because they don't believe in anything. Their God is Satan. Okay, they worship Satan. That's who they are. A lot of these Edomites, they love that occultism. They love the masonry and these hidden symbolic sign, diabolical shit, man, because they're the children of perdition. Okay, and it's clear as day, is evident. Same thing with with these heathens, the other heathens, the Moabites. They got a little bit more of a better inkling to spirituality than but they never considered Yahweh. Why Yahweh shy? These heathens are into worshiping, cows, a fat man, Buddha, or would it be a made up fictional Allah, or Muhammad, or whatever, They will never consider the power of Israel, the real creator. They created all this, that chose one people. He chose one lily, one valley as a favorite people, which are the Israelite. As a matter of fact, I'm going to grab that. Okay. People. This is 2 Judges 5:24. And of all lands of the whole world thou hast chosen thee one pit, and of all the flowers thereof one lily. Right? And of all the depths of the sea thou hast filled thee one river, and of all builded cities thou hast hollowed Zion unto thyself. And of all the fowls that are created thou hast named thee one dove, and of all the cattle that are made thou hast provided thee one sheep. And among all the multitudes, here's the point, of people, thou hast gotten thee one people, and unto this people whom thou lovest, thou gavest a law that is approved of all. See that? So the Lord loved Israel above all the nations of the planet. Okay? And that's why we are so spiritually connected. Going back to the dude Pop Smoke, and he, that Hebrew name that he had, it is a clear testament that, even like I said, even in our ignorance, even in our lowest state, our deepest state, they still have some desire, not knowing, right, to try to seek some level of spiritual deepness, spiritual connection with the Creator, with the Heavenly Father, Yahweh or Yahweh Shai. Okay? But our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Our people are completely utterly destroyed mentally. Okay, because our enemy has made it a mission that we will forget our power, that we will forget who we are as a people. Psalms the 83rd chapter tells us that perfectly fine, right? Psalms, and I'll bring it out. Okay, says a song or psalm of Asaph. Says Psalms 83. Keep not thou silence, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, this is the point, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Now, with the name of Israel, right, in remembrance means that, or comes with us keeping our identity. Okay, us keeping our nationality, and by default, if we had our nationality, if we knew our identity, and we knew that we were the Hebrew Israelites, like we're doing right now, we would seek righteousness. We would embrace the law, statutes, and commandments. We would go back and try to reconcile with the Lord, and then we would have that understanding of what happened to us. But because our enemies, like we read here, which is a future prophecy, they came together. They gave us a nigger culture, you know, which is basically what Pop Smoke got smoked for, okay, which is this rap shit. They gave us, hairstyles for our name, Afro, or the name of a continent, Africa. You know, that's not even our land. Okay, our enemies, they made it cool for us to shoot each other up. You know, for us to be into anything else under the planet but who we are. Okay, and that was the counsel that these heathens had, man. You know, putting pork in everything, opening up shops in our neighborhoods with swine and making it cool to eat pig feet. Making it cool to violate and transgress the laws, statutes, and commandments. That's what our enemies did, starting with Esau, the head honcho. Okay, like if you keep reading, it'll tell you, verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. So, starting with the head honcho, and these Ishmaelites, which are these Arabs, all right, which are people, get that Muhammad sold onto them all the time. Like I said, Jake goes into jail, and the first thing they talking about is Muhammad, man. That has nothing to do with us, man. That's actually the religion of our slaves, of our slave captors, because a lot of these Ishmaelites, they had our people in captivity too. The Arabs, they had our blacks, so-called blacks, natives, and Latinos in captivity. Okay, at some point. Okay, all these nations of people had a hand in our captivity. They all had a hand in our destruction, our mind destruction. Okay, so that was it, man. I just I came across that image of Bashar Barakah Jackson, 1999 to 2020. So died a young buck, but that's the judgment of the Heavenly Father, man, that goes forth every day with our people. Because he's this dude right here. He's also a portrayal of wickedness, man. He leads a lot of Jake to their death because of that rap shit that he be singing, man. So, hey, man, hopefully this was edifying. With that, I'm going to say, Call Halal Yamla, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash again.